In this video, we're learning how to find the area of triangles. And if you look at the top of our screen, we have these formulas for the area of a triangle. And it says the area of a triangle is equal to base times height divided by 2, or 1/2 times base times height. So dividing something by 2 is just the same as multiplying it by a half. So you can use either of these formulas when finding the area of a triangle. And if we look at example 1, it says, what is the area of the white triangle below? And I put this white triangle inside of a rectangle because I want to show you guys where this formula comes from, and I want to show you visually. So if we take a look at this rectangle, we know that it measures 4 inches by 5 inches. So what I'm going to do first is actually find the area of this rectangle. So remember, to find the area of a rectangle, we're going to multiply the length times the width. And in this case, our length is 5 inches and our width is 4 inches. And if we multiply those together, we get 20, and our units are inches squared because we are finding area. And now you guys can probably tell that the area of this triangle is just half the area of this rectangle. So the area of the triangle is really equal to 1/2 times that length of 5 times that width of 4. And if you multiply those out, you're going to get 10 inches squared. So what this is showing us is that the area of a triangle is half the area of a rectangle, and that's where the formula comes from. So in our formula for area of triangle, we're going to call this 5 the base, and we're going to call this 4 the height instead of length and width. But it's still very similar to the formula for the area of a rectangle, and you just cut it in half. And then one thing that's important to note when finding the area of a triangle is that your base and height have to be perpendicular. So if you look over here at this little square right here, this tells us that our base of 5 inches is perpendicular to our height of 4 inches. And that always has to be true for the base and the height. And that'll make more sense once we go through some more examples. So now let's take a look at example 2, and we're just going to apply the formula. So it says, what is the area of the white triangle below? So we want to find the area of this triangle. And what we're going to do is use our formula. So I like to use the 1/2 base times height. So I'm going to write area is equal to 1/2 times base times height. And now I have to figure out what my base and my height are. So I always say that the bottom side is the base. And then our height is going to be what's perpendicular to that. So it's going to be this dotted line right here. And that side that measures 8 yards, we don't actually need it for this problem. So now we're just going to plug in our values. So our area is equal to 1/2 times our base, which is 9 yards, times our height, which is 6 yards. And now we're just going to multiply this. And we can multiply numbers in whatever order we want. So what I'm going to do is rearrange this to put the half next to the 6 to show you guys that it's probably easiest to multiply those two first. And half of 6 is just 3. So this really becomes 3 times 9. And 3 times 9 is 27. So we get an area of 27, and our units are always going to be in the units squared, so yards squared. So we get that the area of this triangle is 27 yards squared. Let's go through 2 more examples. So taking a look at our last 2 examples, if we look at number 3, we want to find the area of this obtuse triangle. And you may notice that the height of our triangle is actually outside of our triangle. So down here is going to be our base. We're still going to say the bottom is our base. But our height comes outside of the triangle, so it's outside right here. And if you extend the base, if you extend it all the way over here, it'll still be perpendicular to the height, which is what we want. So I'm going to start by writing our formula. Area equals 1/2 times our base times our height. And now I want to plug in our numbers. So our area is equal to 1/2 times our base of 15 times our height of 9. And now we just want to multiply this out, and we can multiply in whatever order we want. I'm going to multiply 1/2 by 15 first, and that's going to be 7.5. Feel free to use a calculator if you guys would like. And now we need to multiply 7.5 by 9. And if we do that, we should get an area of 67.5, and our units are going to be meters squared. And for this last example, I encourage you guys to pause the video and try it on your own, and then you can watch me work through it to make sure you've done it correctly. So let's start by writing our equation. Area equals 1/2 times base times height. And now let's figure out what the base and height are. They need to be perpendicular. So we're going to say this bottom side is our base, and it's perpendicular to this side on the right here, because they form a 90-degree angle. So that's going to be our height. And now we're just going to plug in our values. So we have area is equal to 1/2 times our base of 12 times our height of 5. And now I'm going to multiply 1/2 by 12 first, because that's pretty easy to do in our head. 1/2 of 12 is 6. So I really have 6 times 5. And 6 times 5 is 30. And our units are feet squared. So I get an area of 30 feet squared. So hopefully this video helped you guys understand how to find the area of triangles. Just remember that the formula comes from the fact that a triangle is half of a rectangle.